Hello again, everybody. If you're like me and you're wondering what the hell is going on in the world at the moment and resisting feeling powerless to change it and reminding yourself that you are, in fact, a spiritual being having a human experience, and then, setting myself to look at in a calm and considered way what can I possibly do to make a difference? So, where I've got to is I've been reading this amazing book by Lothar Schaffer, I think that's how to pronounce it, called Infinite Potential. And the strapline is What Quantum Physics Reveals About How We Should Live. So I thought, right, let's drill down and see what's the answer here. This clever man, and it's a lovely book, and it's very, very readable, and I would recommend it. He's taken some, very complex concepts and issues and put it into reasonable language. So, and I've got my trusty journal here and boiled it down to 7 mindset shifts that I certainly need to make and really nail down in more than just intellectual, exchange with people. So, like in a world that often does measure success by what we own, how much we earn, how we appear to others, it's easy to fall into a trap of what I call materialistic thinking. Um, and I know, and I'm sure many of you who are watching this know, that there is a deeper reality where our potential is infinite. That, we have a lot of higher potentials that just haven't been activated yet. Well, look, I am rocking up to 80 and thinking, well, when is this potential going to be activated? So I'm still working on it. But I know our consciousness shapes our experiences. And I know also that we are interconnected. All of you who are watching this video are connected with me. And I know too that science, I did a master's degree, was involved in it recently, and I was shocked to the core to find that it was still it was materialism that was being taught, and that belief that, you know, the, the only thing that exists is what you can see. But thankfully, quantum physics has shown us that the material world is not as solid or fixed as we once believed it was. And everything exists in a field of potentiality, where we and everything in the world and the cosmos is in a constant state of becoming. And the Lothars and the Joe Dispenzas and the Greg Bradens and the Bruce Liptons will all tell you that our consciousness interacts with the quantum field in ways that we're all beginning to understand and get a handle on. So that's what I want to talk about today. So if you're ready to evolve beyond the limitations of purely materialistic, that kind of mindset, and step into some deeper meaning, here are 7 mindset shifts that I have boiled this down to that will help us, I think. Firstly, the first mindset shift is to question the idea that the physical world is all there is. I was really quite shocked at all these very intelligent people teaching on this master's in psychology, where they really believe that the physical world is all that there is. And for generations, we've been told that only what we can see, touch, and measure um, is real. Um, so the mindset shift that needs to be made is reality is not just what's in front of you, that there is a deeper unseen order, and that's what the quantum physicists are telling us. So there's a deeper, unseen order. And so what you need to do to try this out, to make this mindset shift, is just spend 5 minutes each day reflecting on what exists beyond what you can perceive. And imagine yourself connected to the greater field of potential, like an ocean where all possibilities exist. So it's one of those things you just need to do it. And it's just taking 5 minutes at the beginning of the day to just be in that sea of infinite potential. So the second mindset shift is about recognizing that you are more than your achievements and possessions. As a younger woman, I used to think it was all about achievement and goal setting and achieving the goals and all of that. But, that's because we've all lived in a world that really celebrates accumulation, more money, more status, more stuff. Well, the older they get, the more you get, the more you realize that deep down, we know, Tony Robbins would say success without fulfillment is not success. And it isn't. Look how many wealthy people there are who are not at all. They might be successful in terms of accumulation of status and stuff, but they're not happy people. And they certainly don't bring peace and quiet to the world. They're not fulfilled really. So who you are really is not defined by what you own or achieve, but by your consciousness, your energy, and the way that you impact on other people. So the mindset shift there is to recognize your value is not measured by material success. It's measured by your growth, your awareness, and the contribution that you make to your family, your community, the world. So try this. When you're making a decision, ask yourself, am I choosing this because it truly fulfills me, or because I think it will impress others? As a younger woman, yes, like everybody, you do want to impress people. You want people to like you. You want people to approve of you and think that you're okay and that you're quite clever, really. But, that's not a good guiding principle. So the third thing, if for any of you who are still there, to tap into the field of infinite possibilities, and that means all, even things that seem impossible, are possibilities, and becoming aware of that. So it is a mindset shift. So quantum physics shows us that everything exists in a state of potential before it becomes material reality. And your mind is no different. So creativity and intuition and inspiration, they don't come from logical thinking. They don't come from cognition. They arise when you quiet the noise, when you think less. I had to learn to think less. I remember years and years ago, when I was first in therapy, I was constantly saying, "Well, I think," and bless him, my therapist, Dave Akers, great man, would say to me, "Grace, how do you feel about what you think?" And then it would put me in touch with, and what does your gut feeling say about what you think? And what does your senses say about what you think? And I learned to not just think my thoughts with my cognitive thinking mind, but to use my senses and my intuition and and my heart. How do I feel? So to engage all of me. So the mindset shift here is that your greatest ideas and solutions actually don't come from thinking. They come from being still. Do you ever get that in the shower, when you're in the shower and then boom, you get a real inspiration. It comes from stillness, not striving. So try this again in your quiet morning time, um, just with the 5 minutes of silence. Let your thoughts just settle and just simply observe without thinking. And it did take me quite a long time to get a bit of headway with this, but you may be surprised by the insights that come when you stop forcing answers, when you stop actually thinking about it, and just allow inspiration to come to you. So the fourth mindset shift is to shift from that sense of being separate from everybody and everything. All that old stuff tells us that we're separate and that we can look at things or people or studies and be objective about it. We have since a long time ago, like decades ago, we become aware of the observer effect and how we observe thing actually impacts on the observed. There is no such thing as objectivity. But at a quantum level, everything is actually interconnected. Particles communicate instantly across vast distances. And, you'll all have heard about the cells in a petri dish, some in America and some in maybe in the UK, and how changes that are made to the one lot actually impact on the cells in the other country. This interconnectedness isn't just theoretical, and we feel it in our relationships and our emotions and our shared experiences. And I would say 9 times out of 10, when I go to phone my daughter, she is about to phone me. We have already connected before we actually make the phone call. So the mindset shift is this: you're not alone, and you're part of something much greater, and your actions ripple out in ways you may never see. But it doesn't mean it's not there just because you can't see it. So try this. So each day, consciously send a thought of gratitude or love to someone, whether they know it or not. But notice how this simple act shifts your energy. Simple acts of loving kindness towards people, towards groups of people who are perhaps in a war situation, and simple and the energy of gratitude, all the things that we have here to be grateful for. So that brings me to mindset shift 5. Stop reacting. You're all familiar with between the stimulus and the response, there is a gap, and therein destinies are formed. And it's useful to get into the way of not just reacting straight away to any stimulus. So most people go through life reacting to whatever comes in front of them. But the truth is that you're not just a passive observer. You are a co-creator of your reality. And that does take a bit of contemplating. When it was put to me at first, maybe 30, 40 years ago, someone saying, you're the master of your fate and captain of your own ship. And I thought, well, you must be mad. But it took me a while to actually realize that I am a co-creator of my own reality, and to understand that my thoughts and emotions and beliefs shaped my experience in ways science is only beginning to understand, and some aspects of science are still not understanding it anyway. So the mindset shift is life isn't just happening to you, it can happen by you and happen through you, and then it can happen as you. So try this. Instead of saying, oh, why is this happening to me? Ask yourself, how might I be contributing to the creation of this experience? And what can I change? So, that is worth pondering on. And I invite you to get your journal. And don't get a piddly notebook, get a good kick-ass journal and make notes. Make notes of these mindset shifts. You can stop the video anywhere. So what can I change? How can I see how I may have in some way through my thinking, through the beliefs that I hold, how might I have attracted this experience? So mindset shift number 6 is align with your purpose, not just your goals. A materialistic mindset focuses on achieving goals, but a deeper mindset focuses on living with purpose. So goals are external. For example, earning more, buying a bigger house, getting a promotion. But purpose is an internal, it's an inside job. And it's about things like living with integrity, growing spiritually, making a difference. For me, it's, I would have been in the habit of making judgments about people and places and things. And I grew up in a very ordinary working class family. The people around me were very well educated, and they would make their conversation would be just gossiping about each other, cracking jokes to each other. I mean, a lot of it was meant harmlessly, but they didn't have a lot to talk about, and so they just made jokes about each other. And it has taken a long while for me, and it's a cultural thing as well in Ireland to make fun of and to joke about and see the humor in it, but it's not always funny. So I've had to work at changing those things. That's an inside job. So the mindset shift there is instead of chasing goals and aligning with what I can have, it's how I am. And so try this, is to write down the 3 things that you do that make you feel most alive and connected. And how can you bring more of that into your daily life? I know a lot of you watching this are wild swimmers, people who are up and out and into that cold sea early in the morning. And you go together, there's groups of women and men all around the place doing that, and they feel so alive. I'd love to do it, but I just not very good with the cold. So the last thing, finally, the 7th, is to trust the flow of evolutionary growth. It looks as if the world is coming into a state of collapse, but entropy is part of evolution. The old systems breaking down and the new systems coming in, and there is a turning point. And I pray that we are reaching a turning point. We certainly are seeing a lot of old systems breaking down, because everything in the universe is evolving. It's not just, people. It's the expansion of galaxies and the whole cosmos. So from blades of grass to galaxies. Um, so try this. The mindset shift is growth isn't about control. It is about trusting the process. That although it doesn't look good, and that's dualistic thinking. Nothing's good or bad, but thinking makes it so. I'm choosing to see all the things that are in a state of collapse as a precedent preceding the turning point of what new thing will come and take its place. So if there, something's happening to you, ask yourself, instead of it's all falling apart, ask yourself not why is this happening to me, but what if this is happening for me? What if it's happening for me and not to me? So look for the opportunity hidden in the change. So this is, you know, this is a wonderful book, and I do recommend it, and other books like it. You know, what Joe Dispenza's teaching, and Greg Braden and Bruce Lipton and people like them. It's quite wonderful, really. But I find that it is a case of having to nail it down and get specific about what is it I'm looking to shift and change. And that's not finding fault with myself. It's about growth. And growth is becoming more of who I actually am. And I leave you with the story about Michelangelo. People used to say to Michelangelo, how do you get sculpt such beautiful angels? And he apparently said, um, I just release the angel from the marble. So this process, outside of time, we are already everything that we may be, and we're perfect and wonderful. In time, we're working out all the conditioning that we have picked up on our soul journey, and so therefore we're becoming more of who we are, and releasing all that infinite potential. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you got something out of it and it wasn't too waffly for you. And I'd love to hear your comments. So drop your comments below and like, and please, if you like this, subscribe. And yeah, any questions, I'll happily respond to you. So bye for now.